Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good people, fellow humans. Today is a holiday. I can never remember. Is it Veterans Day, Memorial Day? It's not Veterans Day. I think it must be Memorial Day, not Labor Day. I think it's Veterans Day. No, I mean Memorial Day. Anyway, it's Monday. It's a holiday. And yeah, as Mark Watney would say. And yeah, I blew myself up. Forgot coffee cup. Be right back. Greetings, fellow humans, and good morning, Miss Trinkle, wherever you are. My morning cup of everyday dose. Unsolicited plug, endorsement, whatever. Okay, here we are. It's Monday, Memorial Day, May 26, 2025. It is just before 6 o'clock in the morning. Here we are, west of Sin City, east of Death Valley, and south of Area 51, in what I call hard scrabble country. Right. Yeah, had a pretty busy weekend. Let's see, Friday. Oh yeah, Friday was the town hall meeting about having a town board, getting a town board back. Prelude to incorporation. Saturday, Seventh-day Adventist Church, and then Mass. Sunday, Lutheran Church, and then Faith Community Church, is that what it's called? In Tecopa, the close of the season for Frank Esposito, and then I had a good 2-hour chat with him alone, spiritual chat, where are we going, what does it all mean, etc. Then working on my paper. Okay, but who cares about that? No one. So we are here to talk about what we do at Department of Career Services, which is to help people experience this life. And maybe we shouldn't call it Department of Career Services anymore. Have to ponder that. Riddle me this. Okay, our theme of today is worthless noise. Yes, some people might say, oh, you're talking about the podcast. Right, you are. Well, that could be true. It's probably true. But the fundamental purpose of the podcast is to come together to create better habits, build better routines. I can promise you, in the worksheet down below, there is important stuff. So the gold is in the worksheet. The podcast is just routine, building better habits, having a program, and then repetition. That's the value of the podcast. Clearly not your host. Right. Clearly not me. So I just do my best. I just try to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Wednesday is my CHW exam. June 5th on television interview with Dr. Tom Waters, who's heading the town board meeting. Let's see, what else? Okay, it is day 1 in week 2. So for this, day 1 of week 2 in our neuroscience-oriented approach to success. And this week 2 is called Inside My Skull-Sized Kingdom. And so that's where we focus on what is actually going on in our brain. Where do our thoughts, beliefs, where do those things come from? Where are they located? How do we know? Why do we care? How can it help us answer the 2 fundamental questions of who am I and why do I behave the way I do? We start this week with Sebastian's Psalm, who 14 years ago was mapping the connectome by hand, taking a brain and cutting really, really small slices of it, and then coding each thing and then stacking them up. It's probably become obsolete. But that's what he was doing. It, for our purposes, it really breaks down what neurons are like, what they look like, what they do, how they work, etc. He does a fantastic job of describing neurons and their function. And how do we know? So when it comes to let's see, his point is the connectome. I am my connectome. What is the connectome? Well, the connectome is the number of neurons times the number of connections on each neuron. So he talks about a worm called C. elegans, which has had its brain mapped. And it has about 300 neurons, a total of 7,000 connections. So each neuron has about 23.33333 all the way out connections. 23.333 times 300 is 7,000. That's the number of connections in the worm C. elegans. And you can see, well, it only has 7,000 connections, can do very little. Another person, Suzanne Herculano, figured out how to accurately count the neurons in brains and discovered that our brain has about 860 billion neurons. No, sorry, 86 billion neurons. 86 billion neurons. And the connectome is 10,000 times that amount. So, what does that tell us? That's why we have the ability to do what we do. Okay, so what is stored in our neurons? Our lived past, which would be our memories, our anticipated future, our ability to simulate things, like you can simulate liver and onion flavored ice cream, right? You don't have to try it. We're not like animals. We can simulate it. Our personality, our ability to locomote, those things are stored in the neurons in our brain. How do we know? Reasonable people might ask the question, how do we know? And the answer is we know because if you damage your brain, and we learned from Daniel Amen, 5 main ways to damage your drugs, alcohol, traumatic brain injury, brain disease, and something growing on your brain. If one of those things happens, you will lose the following will be affected: our lived past, anticipated future, ability to locomote, our ability to simulate, our personality. Those things will be different if you damage your brain, not if you damage your elbow. So we know it's in the brain. So for our purpose, we watch the video to get, that's interesting. So that's my thoughts are located in my brain. Do I have the ability to control them? Am I the slave to PTSD, fear, aggression, whatever it is? Or are they just chemical reactions, electrical reactions in my brain that I can learn to control? So that's the question. That is day 1, week 1, Tomorrow, we're going to look at neurotransmitters. Those are the chemicals that create our feelings. And these chemicals are released automatically. Stimulus, but we have a belief, stimulus, and then the response is chemically induced. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Wednesday, we're going to learn about the reticular activating system. That's part of our brain, at the top of our brain stem, which sort of acts as a filter. So it is constantly scanning all information available to us in order to support our beliefs. All right. Anyway, that's it. This week is Inside My Skull-Sized Kingdom. We really want to learn how our brain works. This is the neuroscience part of the neuroscience approach to success. This is the neuroscience part, how the brain works. And the brain is the most complicated thing in the universe. We're not explaining that complexity. We're just explaining it to be able to answer two questions. Who am I and why do I behave the way I do? Who am I is stored in my connectome. And it's stored in my connectome. Why do I behave the way I do? Stored in my connectome. The goal is to become an active participant in what is stored in your connectome. Okay, moving right along. Advice from an 80-year-old. Be modest. A lot was accomplished before you were born. Right. Now that goes in with the neuroscience part, because we act as if the world revolves around us. That's our skull-sized kingdom. And this advice from an 80-year-old is saying, no. Be modest. A lot was accomplished before you were born. We're not that we're uniquely special, but we want to take hubris out of it. In other words, I'm great, you're not. We'll learn about that next Monday. All right, let's see what else we got on our hit parade. Let's talk about Seth Godin. Worthless noise isn't information. This is the theme of today. Worthless noise isn't information. So in the old days, they would say, is it signal or noise? Trying to replicate a can't remember what the machine was called. It's been so long. Oscilloscope. There we go. Ding, ding, ding. What do we have from Johnny? Okay. Seth Godin. Worthless noise. Data becomes information when at least one of two related things are true. Number one, we learn something for next time. Two, we make different decisions or take new actions. Okay, that's when data goes from being noise to signal. We learn something from it. We make, or number two is relay, we make different decisions or take new actions. So we just learn or we do something based upon that. If you're not getting one of these, then the data is simply noise, a distraction that wastes our time and confuses us. Breaking news is up to the recipient. Breaking news is up to the recipient. I guess that's the one who says the one who gets the data decides whether it's signal or noise, worthless noise, or information. Okay, let's ponder that for a second. So most of the time, we don't want to generate worthless noise. Why? Because if Seth Godin is correct, nobody's learning anything and it's not going to change anybody's life. It's just worthless noise. It's just worthless noise. Somebody calling up because they're bored and they can't figure out a way to entertain themselves or do something productive. So they just call somebody else and take time out of that person's day. Don't be that person. Don't be that guy. Don't be the guy that calls and just talking, bringing up the past, telling stories of the past that the recipient can't learn from, or that doesn't make a difference, or that the recipient can take information on. Now, perhaps it's therapeutic for the person saying it. Well, there's ChatGPT, or one of the other engines. And I saw something published that ChatGPT is becoming like a therapist for people. And the question is it dangerous? Could be, because ChatGPT and all the AI engines, the answer is a function of the question. Poorly framed questions lead to poorly framed answers. All right, what else is on our hit parade? Okay, Darren Hardy, how to live to be 100. So this week he's going to talk about different things to do to live to be 100. Number one is be active, move around. We spend too much time sitting. We need to spend more time walking, having walking meetings. I have fallen prey to that, thinking, well, if I do 15 minutes on the Peloton, that's good. 20 minutes on the Peloton, or an hour on the Peloton. But perhaps not. And so I have started back on walking at night, going for a little walk around 7:30. Yeah, just up the road a bit, 15, 20-minute walk. And that will get longer. Okay, so that's Darren Hardy for us all, folks. Daily Stoic, don't get angry. Don't get angry. And anger is an example, it's a manifestation of losing control of your emotions. Now, you might do it. I think it's okay if you're not really angry, or you're letting yourself be angry because you want to drive home a point and you need to get some emotions into it, like fear in the other person, because that's how things get remembered. What's one way things get remembered? Okay, so don't get angry. Seth's blog we talked about, Sebastian's song we talked about, Jordan Peterson. Don't beat yourself up. Be judicious with yourself. Treat yourself as a student, somebody that you want to teach. Learn from your experiences. How are we doing for time? Time, such a crime. Okay, I think we can call it. I think that's been enough torture on people. Yeah, well, so I say count your blessings. It is our life was a gift. Now, interestingly, at Bible study yesterday morning, one of the people who reads the Bible a lot, pretty knowledgeable, but a lot of horizontal learning there, said, I woke up today and that was a gift. I do not agree that every day we wake up is a gift from God. I think life was a gift. Becoming baryonic was the gift. The rest is up to us to figure out and to honor the gift. To me, that's sort of like saying you're given the gift of a bicycle and you wake up in the morning and say, oh, the bicycle's still here. I got another gift. Didn't disappear on me. The bicycle's still here. I have another gift. I got a gift every day. No. Now it shifts to us to honor the gift, to take care of the bicycle. Okay, so we're going to call it a day. We're going to say bark and whatnot a bevy. Give me a call sometime. You know, these things work in both directions. Right, and cut.